It's a privilege to be a National Heritage Area. That means you're telling a story that can't be told anywhere else. It's a story of innovation. It's part of our vision to inspire people with this story of how the automobile changed Michigan, changed the nation, changed the world.
Keeping alive the history and the memory of the auto industry and what the people here had done.
The majority of people in Michigan would tell you there's also a personal connection to automobiles.
I'm a car girl. I'm born and bred. I want people to know how we put the world on wheels.
When I started working for the Wayne County Park System, we were in the process of trying to tear down these Ford Village industry plants along the Rouge River. Really, we needed to save them. We needed to celebrate our heritage and our contributions to the world.
People don't know the history of Henry Ford or where Chrysler came from. Many of the names of cars came from people. I think it's important to tell their stories.
I first got involved with MotorCities National Heritage Area when it was actually focused on Detroit and Dearborn. Being concerned with statewide history as I was, hey, wait a minute, this is a bigger thing than that. This is Lansing, this is Flint, this is Saginaw. It's even checker cabs in Kalamazoo.
I learned some great lessons. We're kind of going to sink or swim together.
So it took us, I think, at least 5 years to get to that point in 1998 where we were actually going to the White House for a bill signing to actually create this area. One of the first things it did was to bring a whole lot of us together.
The area that MotorCities encompasses contains some very, very vital historical sites and people that are planning to do things with these sites. Our organization creates a central point and a voice for all of those entities.
We're better together. When we bring people together on projects, we've been more successful, more productive to bring partners in.
Partnership is the reason we succeed, because that is who tells the stories. Those are who own the stories. We have helped destinations become stronger. More than a $410 million impact every year on tourism. And that also includes creation of jobs, about 4,500 a year. And that also includes tax income for those municipalities, and that's about $40 million a year.
When I came in the door into 2007, they gave me what they thought was going to be a little project called the Wayside Exhibit Program. So this was ambitious in that we were going to install historic markers across the state in all of our communities. So it's Lansing, it's Ypsilanti, Flint, Detroit, Dearborn, all of them telling the story of how that community made our region great, put the world on wheels. And we were able to install more than 250 interpretive signs.
We've put together a passport book of these museum partners. You can get a stamp when you go and visit them. So you can go all the way out to the Gilmore Museum, which is in Hickory Corners, Michigan, out towards Kalamazoo. You can stop off in Flint at the Durant-Dort Carriage House, the Paquette Model T Automotive Plant, the Ypsilanti Auto Heritage Museum, the Packard Proving Grounds in Shelby Township. So we're using and reusing our history and having it inspire our present.
Our whole area is kind of imbued with the automobile, including the union history, by the way. I was very proud to be a member of the UAW local.
It's important to recognize the contributions of labor. We're collecting oral histories of UAW workers that has now turned into exhibits at the local museum.
This was about America, how it was built, about the immigrants that traveled across the oceans and came here.
We're also working to organize and install the 4th Street Bridge Park. It's at the confluence between Dearborn and Detroit, and this is where the Hunger March occurred. Soon there will be a park there to commemorate not only the 32 Hunger March, but the community that's around that, the people that were there at the time and have continued to foster from that. The Ford Rouge plant is right down the street from that. And so we want to bring all those stories together and talk about it in that one place.
I have been very hands-on, getting the most Rosie the Riveters gathered in one place since the times of World War II. But it also reminds people of how we were the arsenal of democracy.
We put out a call for grants and we get new fresh ideas every year.
$1.5 million in grants have gone out to more than 295 grant applications over the 20 years.
We wrote a grant to MotorCities and they were generous to give us $10,000 to put up the arches on Saginaw Street, the Vehicle City arches.
We finally got one plant to open their doors to high school students MotorCities saw this as an opportunity to fund a number of the schools.
We take a semi-abandoned building and in less than 10 years we turned it into a National Historic Landmark.
The support of the heritage area giving these grants helps tell a piece that when you put that mosaic together, tells the story.
This is America, and innovation is our middle name. Part of its purpose is to inspire us.
I think it's important that there's an organization on the ground like MotorCities to tell that story. My grandkids need to hear that.
I think that we have to play even a bigger role in the future.
We will play an important role in developing things into tourism and destination points.
We owe a lot to the vision back in 1998 that started this heritage area and gave it a great foundation to tell this story into the future for the future generations.
You should be the comma in this sentence. There's no period at the end of our story. We are ongoing. MotorCities 20 years from now will continue to have to ride that wave and continue to tell that story.